So let's talk about crypto. For years, the conversation has been dominated by Bitcoin and Ethereum. These were digital currencies that required powerful computers and a lot of energy to mine. That created a high barrier to entry, leaving everyday people on the sidelines. But then came the Pi network, launched in 2019 by a team of Stanford graduates. Pi's mission: make crypto accessible to anyone with a smartphone. No expensive hardware, no complex software. Just a simple app. Mine Picoin with a single tap each day. It's a bold idea, and it caught on fast. Pi's core promise: decentralization in its truest form. Millions securing the network from their phones, building a massive distributed user base, even before the coin had market value. This flips the traditional crypto launch model on its head. Instead of launching a token then hunting for users, Pi built its community first. The result? A global network of tens of millions waiting for the final stage. That community-first method is what makes Pi fascinating and controversial. Critics say it has no value until an open mainnet launch where it can be freely traded. Pioneers see it differently. They point to a colossal KYC-verified user base cultivated over years. Not anonymous wallets, real identified individuals. That's attractive to businesses eyeing Web3 and digital payments. Pi isn't just another altcoin, it's a social currency experiment in network effects. Pi spent years in an enclosed mainnet, blockchain live but firewalled from the outside world. That allowed an internal ecosystem to grow. Pioneers testing transactions, and developers building Pi apps. The goal, a currency not just for speculation, but for everyday utility. Use it to buy a coffee, pay for a service, maybe one day shop on the world's largest online platforms. The growth of the Pi network didn't happen overnight. It was a slow, methodical process marked by several key milestones: beta, testnet, enclosed mainnet, open mainnet. It all started with the mobile mining app, a simple yet brilliant mechanism that allowed the network to scale exponentially. By making participation as easy as checking a social media app, Pi onboarded millions of users, many who had never touched crypto before. This phase focused on building the network's foundation and educating a massive user base about digital currency basics. The daily check-in reinforced engagement, kept the community active and growing, laying the groundwork for what came next. A crucial step was implementing a native KYC solution. In a world of anonymous crypto projects, Pi took a different path, requiring identity verification to transfer mined Pi to mainnet. It was a massive undertaking, processing millions of identity documents from nearly every country. While slow and frustrating for some, its importance is immense. KYC ensures regulatory compliance, transforms anonymous crowds into a verifiable ecosystem of real people. A key requirement for serious business partnerships. With growing KYC-verified pioneers, Pi moved into the enclosed mainnet in late 2021. A pivotal moment. The blockchain was live but inside a walled garden. Users could migrate mined Pi to wallets, transact with each other, and use apps on the Pi platform. A grassroots economy formed. Pioneers bartered goods and services for Pi. Developers launched hackathons to build the ecosystem. The phase proved the tech worked, and that demand existed for a Pi-based economy. More recently, the core team moved to formalize the ecosystem. They've encouraged merchant tools to facilitate payments. They've hinted at a venture fund to back projects. These steps shift focus from community building to ecosystem and utility. The goal? A robust economy ready on day one of open mainnet. Open mainnet is the final phase where the firewall comes down. Picoin can then connect to the broader crypto world and potentially the global economy. The whole journey has been about preparing for that moment. For any digital currency, achieving widespread utility is the ultimate goal. Speculation can drive prices up and down, but real-world use cases create long-term, sustainable value. This is where enterprise adoption comes in. Major corporations integrating crypto as a payment method is a game-changer. It provides immediate legitimacy and exposes the currency to a massive mainstream audience overnight. Pi Network's philosophy is a currency for everyday people. Securing a household name partnership would validate its long journey. Imagine the impact. Company with hundreds of millions or even billions of customers accepting Picoin creates a powerful use case for tens of millions of pioneers. Their digital assets gain tangible purchasing power on platforms they already use and trust. That would trigger massive interest and demand from pioneers and the general public. Conversation shifts. What is Pi? How can I get Pi to buy things? From speculative asset to functional medium of exchange, the holy grail. Enterprise adoption solves the chicken and egg problem. Merchants hesitate without customers, and customers hesitate without merchants. A single large-scale enterprise adoption breaks the cycle. It creates an anchor merchant, giving millions a reason to use Pi and encouraging thousands of smaller merchants to follow. This kickstarts network effects and exponential ecosystem growth. For Pi, this is the logical endpoint of the strategy. The core team built a massive KYC-verified user base, a compelling asset for enterprise partners. They're pitching access to tens of millions of engaged consumers ready to spend Pi. More than tech integration, it's a strategic business partnership. Enterprise adoption is the foundation of Pi's long-term vision for success. When you think about companies with the scale and influence to catapult a new technology, a few names immediately come to mind. Titans of the tech world, companies that shape industries, that change how we live, work, and interact. In the context of Pi Coin's potential big break, the conversation gravitates toward four giants: Amazon, Apple, Tesla, Meta. Amazon is the undisputed king of e-commerce, a global marketplace serving hundreds of millions, with a logistics network second to none. For any digital currency, being accepted on Amazon would be like winning the lottery. It would provide instant, unparalleled utility. Apple controls a tightly integrated ecosystem: hardware, software, services. Through the App Store and Apple Pay, it has a direct line to wallets of over 1 billion loyal and affluent users. Its influence over consumer payments is immense. Then there's Tesla, the electric vehicle pioneer led by the enigmatic Elon Musk. While smaller than Amazon or Apple in customer numbers, Tesla is a cultural and technological trendsetter. The company's willingness to experiment with new technologies, including its famous foray into accepting Bitcoin, shows a level of agility and forward thinking. Its adoption of a new payment method would be a powerful endorsement, resonating far beyond the automotive industry. Finally, we have Meta. As Facebook, the company tried to launch a global digital currency, Libra, later renamed Diem. The project failed to launch due to regulatory pressure, but it revealed deep-seated ambition to play a major role in the future of money. With its family of apps, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, Meta has a direct connection to billions of users globally. Its focus on building the metaverse creates a natural opening for a native digital currency to power virtual economies. Each of these four companies presents a unique and compelling case as a potential first adopter for a project like Pi. To understand which of these giants might be the first to embrace Pi, we need to look at their track records. Their past actions and current strategies in the digital payment and crypto space offer some pretty clear clues. These companies don't make moves on a whim. Their decisions are calculated and based on long-term strategic goals. So, let's look at the tape. Amazon has been famously cautious but quietly active. For years, there have been rumors and job postings related to digital currency and blockchain strategy, indicating that they are actively exploring the space. They haven't made a big public move yet, but it's clear they are doing their homework behind the scenes, likely waiting for the right moment and the right technology. Apple has been similarly guarded, but its CEO, Tim Cook, has admitted to personally owning cryptocurrency. More importantly, Apple's entire business model is built around its ecosystem and payment rails. Apple Pay is a dominant force in contactless payments. The company has shown a willingness to integrate new financial products, like the Apple Card. While Apple has strict rules for crypto apps on its App Store, the infrastructure is there. Integrating a new payment type into Apple Pay would be technically feasible. Their primary concern would be user experience, security, and regulatory compliance, all areas where they maintain exceptionally high standards. Tesla, of course, has been the most openly adventurous of the group. The company famously purchased $1.5 billion in Bitcoin in 2021. They also briefly accepted it as payment for its vehicles. While they later suspended Bitcoin payments due to environmental concerns about its mining process, the move showed a clear willingness to experiment. Elon Musk's public persona is deeply intertwined with the crypto world, particularly with Dogecoin. This history suggests that Tesla is not afraid to be a first mover. A key factor for them would be the environmental impact and transaction efficiency of any new currency, an area where Pi, with its non-energy intensive mining, could have an advantage. And then there's Meta. No company has come closer to launching its own global currency. The Diem project, though ultimately abandoned, provided Meta with an invaluable education in the complexities of global finance, regulation, and blockchain technology. They built a team and developed technology with the goal of serving billions of users. Though they've since pivoted to focusing on NFTs and metaverse integrations, the ambition for a native digital payment system remains. They understand the potential better than anyone, but they are also acutely aware of the regulatory hurdles. Regulators are wary of its power. Any move into finance would get intense scrutiny. They'd have to navigate a complex regulatory landscape carefully. Their past experience makes them both a highly knowledgeable and a highly cautious potential partner. So if we had to place a bet, which of these four giants is best positioned to be the first to integrate Picoin? This is a tough call. You could make a solid argument for each one. Amazon seems like a long shot for being the first mover. The company is historically risk-averse and waits until tech is well established. Apple is also a less likely candidate for being first. Their walled garden approach means they prefer to build and control their own solutions. Integrating a third-party currency isn't impossible, but they'd likely wait for regulatory clarity. Apple's brand is built on trust and security. They need near absolute certainty. That leaves Tesla and Meta, and the race gets interesting. Tesla has already shown its hand. The company and its CEO lean toward decentralization and innovation. They cited environmental reasons when dropping Bitcoin, and Pi's stellar consensus protocol is greener. Given Tesla's bold moves and Musk's backing of underdog tech, adopting Pi feels possible. But Meta might have the strongest strategic incentive. Meta desperately needs a native currency for its metaverse and cross-platform payments. Having failed to launch its own, partnering with a decentralized project like Pi could be perfect. It lets Meta integrate payments without owning the currency, potentially easing regulator concerns. The Pi network already has a massive KYC-verified user base. That user base overlaps strongly with Meta's demographics. The synergy is clear. It's a high-risk, high-reward play. But for a company defining the next internet chapter, it might be worth taking. It's a close call, but the strategic need might be greatest for Meta.